Good day Forex trader. Your USD Forex signal, bears in control ahead of US inflation data. The pair will likely keep falling as bears target the lower side of the channel at 1.0835. Bearish view. Sell the Euro USD pair and set a take profit at 1.0800. Add a stop loss at 1.0920. Timeline, 1 to 2 days. Bullish view. Set a buy stop at 1.0910 and a take profit at 1.0960. Add a stop loss at 1.0850. The Euro USD pair declined as investors reflected on the latest France election and the upcoming US and Germany consumer inflation data. It fell to a low of 1.0870, which was about 57 basis points below the highest point on Monday. US and Germany inflation data. The Euro USD reacted mildly to Sunday's France election. The results were as expected as Emmanuel Macron and Marine Le Pen advanced to the next stage of the election. They will face off in less than 2 weeks, with the winner becoming the country's president. Early polls showed that Macron is favored to win the election, although the situation could change. The pair will be in the spotlight as the US publishes the latest consumer inflation data on Tuesday. Economists polled by Reuters expect the data to show that the headline consumer inflation in the US rose from 7.9% in February to 8.4% in March. The core CPI, which excludes the volatile food and energy prices, is expected to have increased modestly from 6.4% to 6.6% in the same period. These numbers will come a day after the New York Fed published the latest inflation expectations data. The poll shows that the public expects that inflation will hit record high as supply chains disruptions converge with elevated energy prices. Respondents expect that inflation will hit 6.6% in March 2023, up from 6% in February. They also see inflation moderating to about 3.7% in March 2025. The Fed focuses on public expectations because they tend to drive consumer spending. The other important data to watch will be the German inflation and ZEW surveys. Like in the United States, analysts expect that the German inflation rose to 7.3% as gas prices surged. These numbers will come 2 days ahead of the latest ECB interest rate decision. Euro USD forecast. The Euro USD declined as the American inflation expectation rose. On the 3-hour chart, the pair moved below the upper side of the descending channel and the 25-day moving average. It also dropped below the important resistance level at 1.0947, which was the lowest level on March 28. The stochastic oscillator has moved slightly below the overbought level. Therefore, the pair will likely keep falling as bears target the lower side of the channel at 1.0835. A move above the resistance at 1.0920 will invalidate this view. Gbp Usd Forex signal, support at $1.3000 still holding. A major breakdown is likely if $1.3000 gives way. Today's Gbp USD signals. Risk 0.75%. Trades must be taken before 5 p.m. London time today only. Long trade idea. Long entry following a bullish price action reversal on the H1 time frame immediately upon the next touch of $1.3000. Put the stop loss 1 pip below the local swing low. Adjust the stop loss to break even once the trade is 25 pips in profit. Take off 50% of the position as profit when the price reaches 25 pips in profit and leave the remainder of the position to run. Short trade ideas. Short entry following a bearish price action reversal on the H1 time frame immediately upon the next touch of $1.3052, $1.3108, or $1.3181. Put the stop loss 1 pip above the local swing high. Adjust the stop loss to break even once the trade is 25 pips in profit. Take off 50% of the position as profit when the price reaches 25 pips in profit and leave the remainder of the position to run. The best method to identify a classic price action reversal is for an hourly candle to close, such as a pin bar, a doji, an outside or even just an engulfing candle with a higher close. You can exploit these levels or zones by watching the price action that occurs at the given levels. Gbp Usd Analysis. I wrote last Wednesday that the price continued to consolidate below $1.3181 over the past week, drifting down to arrive at the half number at $1.3050, which has been informally supportive. The big round number and support level below at $1.3000 really stood out as potentially providing a great trading opportunity by acting as a major pivotal point. As there are no support levels close by below $1.3000, so I thought the price could have a lot of room to fall further without meeting any supportive obstacles. This situation has not really changed significantly over the past week. The price has twice very briefly dipped below that big supportive round number at $1.3000 before bouncing back, but it does not rise very far following these bounces. I still think the best approach here will be to wait for the price to reach $1.3000 and be prepared to take long scalping trades, which could be left to run into potentially longer-term trades as this level may begin to act as long-term support. Yet the bigger opportunity will potentially be a strong breakdown below $1.3000 as there are no support levels below that for 200 pips at least. There may also be short scalping opportunities from any of the resistance levels above the current price noted above, but such trades will probably work best as closely monitored scalps as the price action has been choppy lately. Aud USD Forex signal, retreat to 0.7300 highly possible. The pair will likely keep falling as bears target the next key support level at 0.7300. Bearish view. Sell the AUD USD pair and set a take profit at 0.7300. Add a stop loss at 0.7450. Timeline, 1 to 2 days. Bullish view. Set a buy stop at 0.7450 and a take profit at 0.7550. Add a stop loss at 0.7350. The AUD USD pair slipped to the lowest level since March 22 as investors refocused on the upcoming Australian election and the rising bond yields. The pair is trading at 0.7420, which was about 3.17% below the highest level this week. Australian election. The Australian dollar sell-off continued as investors focused on the upcoming Australian election. The current Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, will face off with Anthony Albanese, the Labour leader. Analysts expect that Morrison will win, although the race is expected to be close. And a lot can change between now and the election date. Therefore, the AUD-USD pair declined as investors wait on this election. The pair is also falling because of the overall strong US dollar. The US dollar index has jumped to $100, which was the highest point since May 2020. It has also risen by more than 11% from its lowest level in 2020. The AUD-USD pair has been in a strong bearish trend because of the strong US inflation and the performance of the bond market. The 10-year bond yield rose to 2.78% while the 30-year yield rose to 2.83%. The 2-year bond yield retreated slightly to 2.5%. This performance is mostly because of the rising expectations that the Fed will continue hiking interest rates and then embrace a quantitative tightening policy. The pair will next react to the latest American consumer inflation data scheduled for Tuesday. Economists expect the data to show that the country's consumer inflation jumped to 8.4% in March while core inflation rose to 6.6%. The data will come a day after the New York Fed published the latest inflation expectation data from the U.S. The U.S. public expects that inflation will be at 6.6% in March 2023, which is higher than what they were expecting. Aud Usd Forecast. The AUD-USD pair has been in a strong bearish trend in the past few weeks. It has managed to move to the 50% Fibonacci retracement on the 3-hour chart. It has dropped below the 25-day and 50-day moving averages. It also moved between the lower and middle lines of the Bollinger Bands while the Money Flow Index, MFI, has formed a bullish divergence pattern. Therefore, the pair will likely keep falling as bears target the next key support level at 0.7300.